I'm going to talk about some tips for preparing supercooled water. In essence, what you need to do is to cool down water to temperatures below the freezing point by keeping water from crystallization. How do we do that specifically? Here are some important tips. The first tip is to use purified water instead of tap water. This is because impurities, if contained in water, often provides a site for nucleation or a spot where crystallization begins. In Japan, you can buy purified water in drugstores. The second tip is to use clean test tubes. This is related to the first tip that I just mentioned. The point is to keep out any impurities so that your purified water won't get contaminated. You need to make sure your test tubes are clean. Here, the word clean means the absence of not just dust or dirt, but also inorganic salts like minerals. So I recommend that you rinse your test tubes, all portions of the internal wall surface, several times with purified water to get rid of any residual minerals. The next tip is to use small amount of water. This is because the larger the quantity of water, the higher the chance of unintentionally initiating crystal formation somewhere in that water. If you use test tubes like I did in my demonstration, instead of using a big bucket, you don't have to worry too much about this point since test tubes hold small amount of water anyway. But even if you're using test tubes, you shouldn't fill your test tubes all the way to the top. I recommend your water level be at most half the height of the test tube. That will maximize the chance of preventing premature crystallization while maintaining the visibility of supercooled water. The next tip is to avoid overcooling. The optimum ice bath temperature for preparing supercooled water using the setup I showed in my presentation is around
minus
10 degrees Celsius. With an ice bath around this temperature, 5 minutes is all you need to get supercooled water. If the ice bath temperature were too low, water will simply be frozen. Also, leaving the test tubes in the ice bath much longer than 5 minutes, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, is not recommended because water will probably be frozen by the time you take it out of the ice bath. And lastly, not the least, do not give up. Keep going. This is more like a spiritual tip than a technical one. To be honest with you, preparing supercooled water is tricky. I wish I could say something like, if you follow this procedure, you get supercooled water for sure. But that's not true. It usually takes multiple attempts, 3 times, 4 times, maybe 5 times, before you get supercooled water and get it to crystallize like I showed you in my demonstration. A lot of things do not go like your plan. It could be overcooling or contamination of your purified water. It could be the temperature of the ice bath changing faster than you think. It could be an unintentional impact on the test tubes, triggering premature crystallization. But the important thing is that you know that in almost all cases, it takes multiple attempts to get the desired result. As long as you keep trying, you pretty soon get it. I hope you enjoyed my video. And I also hope that this video will be helpful for those wanting to see supercooled water and its crystallization. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.